And good morning from Scotty Ray and Candace. Already November the 30th. This is it for the month.
I know tomorrow's December 1st, and my son is so excited. My little one, he keeps talking about, tomorrow's December because it's Christmas.
The countdown.
Yeah, the countdown to Christmas. And I have yet to put my decorations up.
What is wrong with you?
Well, I had this bright idea Saturday to paint. And so it was supposed to be just paint the living room, and then we ended up painting the trim, and then the trim carries all the way through the house. So, I mean, it has been a 3-day ordeal, and my house looks like a bomb went off in it. So, and my husband's real happy with me, I think.
Well, I see that really worked out for you well, didn't it?
Yeah, I was like, I'm painting today. I just got up and just said, we're painting.
Painting is not really that easy, especially if you decide to do that on your own. It's a job.
Yes, and I told him the other day, I said, there's a lot of things that you can save money on, and I'm all for it, but painting ain't one of them.
Painting is horrible.
Painting is, I wish I'd have just paid somebody to do it. But
The worst thing that you can do is paint the ceiling, because there's no way you're not going to get in your eyeballs.
Oh, yeah.
Anything that you got on it.
We got that popcorn ceiling, that they used to do years ago. I still got. It's awful, and I mean that stuff was all in my hair. It was everywhere.
I don't know that you can actually change the popcorn without scraping the entire house. Can you?
And I've heard of people doing that, and they say it is the biggest mess. I mean, can you imagine?
No, I cannot, because I had to do a repair one time, and then you can buy the spray popcorn to fix that little area.
But it's probably never the same color.
Nope.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, it's not going to splatter the way that.
Yeah.
Who invented that?
I don't know, but I mean, like. Dust. You would be surprised at how much dust rises and just sticks to it. And you got these cobwebs hanging. I thought my house was pretty clean till I got painting around the thing and moving furniture and looking at the top of it. And anyway.
Yeah, it didn't work out so great, did it? Well, let's take just a second here and talk about a little bit of weather.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Well, tonight, let me stress this, it's going to be cold beyond cold. 25 is what we're looking for.
Very cold, yes.
And I don't know any other way to word it other than, bundle up, because it's going to be horrible. Pipes, make sure that you've got those already bundled up. Pets, let's talk about your puppy dogs for a minute, because that's important.
Yes. Look, if you have pets outside, you're going to need to get a light, get some hay, something for their house, or either just bring them in if you can.
Yeah, if you've got a utility room, do that.
Yeah.
As you look at what's going on right here, let me pull this screen up here and show you exactly what's going on with this. The National Weather Service has the wind advisory, which is going to be about 25 to 30 miles. Well, actually, they're saying 30 to 35 now, gusts tonight. Then you go here to the freeze warning. It's going to be significant freezing tonight, lows in the upper 20s for a long period of time.
Yes.
So,
I mean, it's freezing cold. Look, I was out at 3 o'clock this morning, and that was cold enough, letting little puppies out to use the bathroom. Ugh.
So be prepared for it tonight, and keep warm, whatever you do. And as I mentioned, right now, if you've got to have gas, get in touch with Sanders Gas, have those deliver that now before it gets too late in the day and they won't be able to get it to you.
And if you know any elderly people or something that maybe live on their own and you think they might need somebody to check on them, go check on them, because I don't know if some people are able to get gas if they have a gas tank or what, it's just.
Well, gas is one of those things that you kind of overlook. You just think it's full, and next thing you know, you get ready to fire up the heater, and it doesn't work.
Yes, and space heaters. This is the time of year where we hear of a lot of fires from space heaters. So if you do heat your home or whatever with a space heater, just be extra careful that you don't have anything around that.
Curtains
that might catch
will
fire.
grab that in a heartbeat.
Yes. And I've always been nervous to even put it on carpet, without setting something solid underneath it. That just makes me kind of nervous.
So keep that in mind. Very serious as we do this. Pets, I can't. It breaks my heart to think that a dog would have to sit outside and all that stuff, because that wind, you take that. Ooh.
Yeah. And you can buy cedar shavings or
Does that help?
It does help. And even if you could get something just to hang over the doorway of their house, just to keep the wind from coming in, if you have to have them outside.
Who else, every time you look at Candace this morning, think of Elvis's Blue Christmas? Every time I glance over at you, I want to break into.
Well, I can't believe we actually kind of color coordinate this morning.
Yeah, that is pretty close, isn't it?
It is.
So, you done any Christmas shopping yet?
I have bought one thing, and I'm starting to panic because normally I'm always last minute getting some stuff done, but I've never been this slow at starting my shopping. So I don't know.
So what you gonna do?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, my kids are older, and I know a lot of times we say, "Oh, I'm just give them money."
Yeah.
And we're gonna do that, but I like everybody to have one thing to unwrap under the tree. At
Well,
least.
that makes sense.
So,
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah. But I gotta get busy.
Yeah. Well, let's take a minute and talk about the good folks at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. If you haven't been to the Farm Supply in a little while, now's the time to go because, as you mentioned, it is Christmas time and there is lots going on at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Tons of pictures here of what they do with the Christmas stuff. Look at that. Beautiful stuff.
It is pretty stuff.
Now, and that's your Christmas trees and your poinsettias. And I wanted to, that's your disinfectant, but I wanted to show this of straight from their Facebook page if you haven't had a chance to look at them lately here. This is a few of the pictures and things that they've posted of sales that they've got going on. They call that the Mama Claus shirt.
Yeah, I need one of those.
That's like a long night shirt like Uncle Jesse would wear, isn't it?
I don't know. It just looks kind of like a long sleeve T-shirt or a 3/4 length T-shirt.
Yeah. So anyway, that worked good. And, of course, tons of tees there for you, women's there. You can check those out. And boots. Now, this is that time of year where you get cold, you get wet, and whether you're needing a work boot, a steel-toe work boot, or if you're needing these right here to roam around in the mud holes, they got them for you there at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. And it's just endless of belts and whatnots. The co-op is kind of like you're all in one place.
It is. I love going in there and just browsing around.
Earrings, too. Get out of here. So that's a few of the things there. And as you get into the Christmas shop, that's where you go. And you go on further back in the store on the right there, you'll get into where the guns are and ammunition. If you need a little ammo, they listed that over the weekend also. So
And plants. I mean, not just poinsettias at Christmas time. I'm sure they have other plants that are for sale. You know, this is the kind of time of year out in the nursery that maybe it might be a little bit sparse, but, you know, you can find, you know, I would imagine like poinsettias or anything, little Christmas trees or, you know.
Lauderdale County Farm Supply, exit 151 off the interstate is where you go. They'll certainly help you out.
During these challenging times, there are some things that you can count on every day. One of them is that Rick Justice Automotive will work hard to help you find just the right vehicle. Rick Justice has late model, low mileage vehicles and 72-month, 72,000-mile warranties available on all vehicles. Come see us today, and we'll show you how we've been helping your friends and relatives find the car, truck, or SUV that was right for them. We will earn your business.
Well, as we start today, a few of the news stories that went on and around the nation and locally. Did you see all this to where the accident that happened out on I-20 with the 18-wheeler?
I had not heard this, and so it was news to me this morning.
Three people were killed, 3 people were injured, and it looked as though somehow or another a semi hit a car, and you know those mediums where they have the tunnels underneath where the water goes under the road, ran off in there, and the truck was on top of it. Horrible for our area.
Awful.
Also, a man was hit by a car. And it maybe was some type of domestic dispute of some sort. Don't have all the details, but a man was hit by a car on purpose over the weekend in the Meridian area. So
Just a lot of bad stuff.
It is.
And right before the holidays. And
Now, Vicksburg, what have we learned about Vicksburg? Well, you don't go over and take somebody's parking place is what I've learned, because this lady got mad. I guess it's been a feud going on for quite some months. They live in an apartment complex. And I guess it's a rush to get that one parking place.
yeah.
Yeah, he got it, and well, she whooped out the pistol and shot up amongst them all.
Did she just shoot in the air, or did
No,
she
no,
actually
no.
shoot somebody?
She didn't hit anybody. She hit a few cars, but
my
she
goodness.
was a squeezing and a shooting. So that's what went on Vicksburg over the
You
weekend.
got to really want a parking spot.
You know,
to be not
I've
shooting in the-
never had anything that I wanted to get that upset over a parking place now.
Yeah, I think I could find somewhere else to park, but you know.
But that's what went on in Vicksburg. If you're just wondering, I hadn't, you know, as the kids were little, we went over to the military park, and then we went to the old courthouse capitol that I showed. That's pretty neat there. But today is not the day to go through the park.
Well, she might have been in a bad mood. She might have been to the casino and lost some money. You don't
Some
ever
of
know.
that Carrie Underwood stuff where she comes and whoops you. So, and you know, this crept up on me, and I'd almost forgotten about the Egg Bowl. With the COVID going on and everything, and it looks as though Ole Miss walked away with it 31-24. Of course, I've always been a State fan, but I guess it's hotty-toddy. They won.
Yeah. I'm Alabama, so
It didn't make any difference to you.
it didn't matter. No, it
So
didn't matter to me.
what's the big talk of Saban winning from the couch?
I don't know, but they said he had the COVID again. You had it not long ago, supposedly.
You're right.
And I thought, I don't know if maybe he got a false negative or a false positive the first time. I don't know. Who knows?
But so he coached from the couch, I take it, and still won, from what I understand. So
that's pretty good.
Congrats to the Bama fans.
Yeah.
It is a huge football team. That is well put together.
Yes.
A lot of money goes into that.
It's a beautiful campus too. If y'all have never been over there, you need to go.
I went to
check it out.
school over there for about 2 years and got me one of them there safety degrees. And you'd walk out when you'd get your little break, and there was the stadium. It's nice.
Yeah, it is really nice. The campus is really nice, and I don't know, but when I went in the stadium, I guess because watching it on TV, it just looks so big.
Yeah.
And it is a big place, but it just looks smaller when you're up in the stands, the field. I don't know, to me.
Well,
but it is nice.
I went to Mississippi State, and Angie got me up in that nosebleed one time to watch that one game. Never again. It took me like 35 minutes to walk down by myself because I was scared to death.
Was you holding on to the rails?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, I don't like the heights. I don't like being way up either. So.
Well, you can't see as good. And I have come to this about football games. You can see it so much better from your home.
Yeah.
That 75-inch TV, yeah.
Yeah, especially in this kind of weather, a lot warmer, right?
You're
your
right.
blanket and the popcorn.
Now, there's always scams. I mean, scams everywhere. And as we go to this one, this is on a big one. You remember the Me Too movement?
Yeah.
Okay, it was where they were turning in people that may have done ladies up years past and hit on them in companies, and they started a charity called Time's Up. Okay, after you dig into this, most of the money went to salaries, and only 10% was ever spent on helping victims. And it was backed by a lot of celebrities. And so, it's just crookedness everywhere you go.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't trust. That's a lot. Like even when you have people calling you, want to, donate to this and donate to that, and I just got to where I just hang up because you don't ever know where that money goes.
No, and I guess the Salvation Army bell ringer, that's about your best bet.
Yeah.
Or go place it in the hands of somebody that needs it.
Yeah.
Those national movements like that spook me. Not to say that there aren't some legit ones, because I know that they raise money for cops that get killed, and they give to the family to help pay off mortgages so that they won't have to live in fear of how they're going to make it.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of ones out there, like especially when we have a hurricane hit or something. Be extra careful of people that come around and say they're going to, if you don't know them.
Well, I remember when one of the hurricanes hit. Do you remember when people were taking up money in the street?
Yes.
They were stopping you at the red lights, and they had the buckets and stuff. So, and of course, I think I gave to that, but
yeah, it does
I'm
make
not
you
sure
where it goes.
Yeah, hopefully it was up.
So it's just a little fault there. Now, this COVID thing is not getting any better, is it?
No, it is not.
And as we look at what goes on today, San Francisco is starting this today, a 3-week lockdown. And if you get into this, essential businesses are the only ones that are supposed to be out. Members of different households cannot gather between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. in the morning. How are they going to enforce all that?
I don't know. I guess they just hope that people do the right thing, and if they happen to run into somebody that's not, then they'll. I mean, unless they went door to door, and can you imagine how much time that would take?
And didn't we defund the cops in all those big cities?
So good luck with that,
Yeah, I know. But, Barney can't patrol everything with no bullet. And that's what they've tried to, in some of these cities, do is, I don't know, what do you call them, just normal public workers, I think is what they're calling them.
Let me tell you, I was watching some kind of I read something on Facebook, and this AOC,
I know who she is.
She's all for defunding the police, and she wanted people she thought, I guess the alternative would be to be able to call like a mental therapist at any time if you got in a tight to where, that was her answer. Really?
That makes me think of different strokes. So what you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, that's just crazy to me. That makes no sense. I mean,
no,
really,
it doesn't.
Wake up.
What is the world coming to? I mean, you look at the news, and it has really gotten to where I can't watch news like I used to.
Yeah.
It's depressing.
I know, but to call a mental thing, I mean, okay, if somebody's on the ledge about to jump off, call somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe they can talk them down, but you got somebody that's got a gun in their hand and they're fixing to shoot a bunch of people up. A therapist is the last person I think.
Yeah, you've got to have somebody that can handle the situation.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why our cops are there, to protect us, to protect and serve. Now, I think this may have ended up being more of a show than it was anything else. Mike Tyson, is he the one that bit the ear of the guy years ago?
Yes, he bit the whole chunk off of his ear. It's awful.
I think this ended up being where they got to spat and that they could still box each other, and it was really they got together and said, "Hey, let's go out, hit a few rounds, and let's both of us make a little money."
Yeah,
because it was a draw in the end. I guess a lot of people ate that up. It wasn't my kind of pick of what I would want to be watching, but it did happen, and it was a draw.
Yeah.
So the Mansons, you remember them?
Yeah, I remember all the story of it.
Because that really happened.
Crazy.
What was it? Before we were born, is in the late '60s is when this went on. But the Charles Manson lady that was involved in this was up for parole for her 23rd time, and she was denied. After 50 years, she's still there. That's her as a youngster with the X on her forehead. I thought that was a tattoo, to be honest with you.
I think they all had that.
Yeah.
It was some kind of a symbol of that group or whatever. I still don't understand all that. Even like trying to watch stuff about
The documentaries.
how they were. I don't know if it was like a drug type. They were drugged or like they stayed on drugs or.
He picked on ladies that didn't have a family that looked up to him as a fatherly figure, and he'd go out and play the love music or whatever, the hippie stuff in those days, and they looked at him, kind of like the David Koresh's and the Jim Joneses, where people they were needing something, and he was their role model.
Yeah.
And whatever he told them to do, they did, and that's what happened.
That is scary.
Now, why he chose the people that he killed, I don't know. I've never read that part of that. That
Koresh thing, that was an awful thing too. When all that happened, when the place in Waco, where it burned, and
you dig into this.
Crazy.
All that really started because it was either a UPS driver or a FedEx driver that says, "Oh, he's got a bunch of packages." Now, like it or not, he really wasn't bothering anybody. And he had a little weird thing going on in there, but he wasn't bothering the outside world. And they show up with tanks and stuff, and it turned bad.
Yeah,
quick.
That was awful. Though I remember that.
Waco. Now, we brought this up not long ago. Should Trump lose, and I think even some of those politicians said, hey, we're going to take it out on people that voted for Trump. And if you will start paying attention when you see news stories, you'll start seeing stuff like this. This is two different stories from the Daily Mail that I pulled up this morning. And look at this, the headline. Shocking moment, Mustang flips in road rage confrontation from truck driving Trump supporter in L.A. Now, why bring up that he's a Trump supporter? Why couldn't you just say it was a road rage event?
Yeah.
The next example of this is this right here. A student is kicked out of Texas sorority for conducting after TikTok for pro-Trump rally on All Lives Matter. What they're doing is trying to condition you to think that if you're a Trump supporter, they're coming after you, to where that's a normal thing again.
I mean, that's a violation of people's freedom.
I think so.
I mean, you should have the freedom to speak and say, obviously you do, we're supposed to have.
Right.
By the Constitution. I mean, you should have freedoms to say what you want and to support who you want without backlash.
And again, you watch this as another conditioning thing that they're doing across the U.S. is reporting your neighbor. Did they have too many people over at Thanksgiving? We'll call this number and turn them in. That will lead to the next time of, did they have their air conditioner on? We don't think you should run your air conditioner this summer. And then eventually it will be, hey, is your neighbor a Christian? Are they over there reading the Bible? I think you should call this number and report them. That's where we're headed with all of this, in my opinion. Now, do I have everything to back that up? No, but I got a pretty good gut feeling that's what's up.
Yeah, and this thing right here says that she was at a pro-Trump rally, I guess, or a demonstration, not a rally, that included signs saying all lives matter and Trump. Look, people, all lives do matter whether you like it or not. It ain't just one group or another. All lives matter. We're all, children of God, and we all matter, regardless of who thinks they matter a little more or whatever. Yeah. I'm just tired of it.
And the United States is made up of, you name it, it is a part of us here. Right. We were all immigrants at one point.
Right. I mean, because I've had it up to here with all this mess.
And then like you go back to the Me Too movements and things like that. And pretty soon, and I don't know if this is, but you remember as a kid, you always used to play cowboys and Indians. Probably before too long, that's going to be politically incorrect to say that. And it was fun as a kid. No harm intended.
Right.
So just a few things to think on this morning as you're starting your day. And let's see here. We're sitting still at cool outside, 40. Did I mention about that temperature dropping to 38 by 5?
No, I don't think so.
Between now, it's cold now, but by 5 o'clock this afternoon, it's going to hit 38. So.
And 24 tonight?
24 to 25.
24 degrees. Oh, my goodness. It's just, I'm loving cold weather now.
Yeah.
As long as I don't have to get out, like stay out in it, even though, I mean, I wouldn't mind hunting, you know, as long as I'm bundled up and got my little heaters.
My little Mr. Heater, my buddy. I always have to have it.
We've got a soccer game tomorrow night. Gonna freeze.
Did I mention it's 25 tomorrow night? Is that locally here?
Yes, we're gonna be playing at MCC. My son plays for West Lauderdale, and we're gonna get cold, so we will have our little buddy heater.
And I've never went and watched a soccer game, so I'm going to be stupid and ask a question. Do you have to wear shorts when you play soccer at all times?
They do wear shorts, and some wear like some kind of like, I don't know what you call them. I guess Under
Armour britches?
Underneath their shorts. Of course, my son did not the last game, and it was cold. But, they wear stuff to keep them warm, but still, it's cold, you know. Can you imagine kicking that ball with your feet?
No, not my thing. So all you parents that are out there supporting your kids, you're tough. We're proud of you. Now, I go back to, I was 8 years old in 1977, and the greatest movie that ever came out, in my opinion, and to this day, probably ranks up there, Smokey and the Bandit. That was it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love me some Burt Reynolds and Jerry Reed Snowman.
I know, yes.
On the other end, right after that, I think it was right after that, this movie came out. And I was one of those kids that I didn't get into it because I was more of your Smokey and the Bandit type kid growing up. But
I never got into Star Wars either. But
me either. But there was a lot of people. You know, they have all these conventions where people go.
People dress up like it and everything.
And I didn't realize this until this morning when I was putting the news stories together. The Darth Vader character, which is David Perouse, if I pronounced that correctly, he played Darth Vader, but they didn't use his voice. James Earl Jones's voice was used, but they used this guy because he was such a manly, tall, big fella.
6'7".
That
tall.
is huge.
That is tall. Goodness.
So you never had a lightsaber and wanted to be, what was her name with the princess?
Princess Leia.
Yeah, you never wanted to be her?
No, I didn't. I didn't care, you know.
Did you ever want to be Sally Field? Let me ask that.
No, I didn't want to be Sally Field.
See, I could start calling you Frog.
The only thing that I ever wanted to be was Wonder Woman. Okay. Wonder Woman. Yes. And I had, y'all, this is going to be funny and it's crazy to some people. But when I was little, I got creative. Okay. I had the little, I got a bracelet on.
Oh my gosh.
Like this.
You can dodge bullets?
Yes. But I had, she wore the little cuffs on her arms. Well, I would get the toilet paper roll when it was empty, cut it in half, and color it gold, and put them on my arms.
And so,
I was Wonder Woman. Yes.
Did you have a tiara?
No, but I had like the Wonder Woman pajamas, and so I jumped around the house, ran around the house, and I'd jump off the bed, and all that was crazy. Yeah, Wonder Woman. That's how I wanted to be.
I remember at 10 years old seeing that outfit and going, Wonder Woman. Woo, doggy. Because it was something.
Yeah, I loved watching shows like that. I mean, it was just good.
Now, I know they made a new movie about it, but I never watched the whole movie. I watched a clip, and I have to say they did improve the outfit just a teeny bit
really?
since then. Hers was kind of baggy and saggy back in the, but I didn't notice it at 10 years old.
Is Linda Carter, she's the one that played.
Yeah.
Is she's still alive?
Yeah, because if you remember, they had a cameo of her in that remake of that horrible remake of The Dukes of Hazzard, where she was Uncle Jesse's girlfriend.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch I did watch the remake. That was the one with Jessica Simpson in it.
Yeah, and
I didn't like that. I don't like remakes. To me, they're not as good as. They could have
had something so good, and they took a show that was family valued and turned it into Uncle Jesse smoking dope in a toilet with a governor.
Yeah,
an outhouse.
They're gonna ruin everything. Just try to bring it up to date to the modern times. Look, we don't need the modern times in our old.
And that was 2005. So that was 15 years ago that was made. The only good thing I can say about that car, about the show, was the car. They done the car justice in that movie.
The girl that I work with that owns the shop, Amber, her husband has a General Lee.
Really?
Yes. He has the car, and it is signed by
John Snyder.
Yes, it's signed by him.
Yeah, it's funny that you brought that up. Somebody
Well, it's not the car, but it's
one of
yeah,
them.
Yeah.
But somebody sent me a message last night and wanted to know what happened to the General Lee that we gave away on the radio years ago. And I've got the pictures on my Facebook. It was a bright lime green car when we bought it out of North Carolina. Me and John David Ainsworth went over to Birmingham, picked the car up. We brought it back. I had a blowout driving it from Scuba to Meridian, tore the fender off. It was awful.
Lord.
When you have a blowout in a Dodge Charger, you cannot control it. And I went in the medium.
Goodness,
And,
were you flying?
I was going by like 50, and it was over. But built the car. But I got all the pictures of the General Lee from start to finish, and gosh, that was a beautiful car.
Well, they have one, and it's a pretty car. It's really pretty. And like I said, he took it somewhere, wherever John Snyder was, and had him sign it. So it's a neat thing.
And speaking of John Snyder, and I'll get off my subject. I don't know if you've seen that they're making a movie about him, and he went through that horrible divorce, and the judge ruled against him, and he had to pay his ex-wife all this money, and John didn't have it. Like, she took everything he had. And if you'll notice on Facebook now, he's always selling something to do with the Dukes of Hazzard. He's going somewhere an autograph, and that's where he got the idea when he was dead broke to start doing all of that, and it saved him.
Yeah.
And he does. He's got a place in Louisiana now that he has a big festival each year.
Oh, okay. I always thought he was like a nice looking guy. I always thought that.
Super nice guy, and probably one of the best singers that country music ever had. If you remember The Sound of the Tone, do you remember that? Country Girls.
He went. My aunt, and they lived in Georgia, and I think he went to their church or something. So I thought that was kind of neat,
But and you go back to Luke, and I've met all of those at different events and things through the years. A great cast, good people. And as a kid, I think Catherine Bach outdone Sally Field. I'm just saying, every Friday night that was some kind of something.
Okay.
Ooh-wee. So all right. Let's see here what else is going on. Don't forget, this is coming up tomorrow night. The Christmas tree lighting. At downtown Meridian. That's going to happen at 5:30 at the courthouse.
Okay.
So a switch will be thrown, and that will go on.
I have to drive down there and take Alden down there to see it.
Yeah,
He'd probably like that since I don't have mine up yet.
The next thing that's happened tonight, this will happen at 7 o'clock. Scott McQuigg is going to join me. He has a new album coming out tomorrow called As Live as It Gets. Scott will be in the studio with me to discuss all about it, the behind-the-scenes stories of where the songs were written, some neat stories coming up. So I hope you'll join me again tonight at 7 o'clock with Scott McQuigg, one of Meridian's greatest.
It's going to be nice.
It
Watch
is.
That.
So let's see here. What are your big plans for today?
Probably just to go back home and try to finish cleaning up the big bomb of a mess in my house. It is awful. It looks like a hurricane come through my house. I've got stuff everywhere in the living room, everywhere in the dining room. It's awful. It's awful. So hopefully I'll get the painting finished today and can start getting my Christmas stuff up by the weekend. So yeah.
Janice Overby, which was an old scuba night with me, just posted a second ago that she was never into the Star Wars things either. That she was not her kind of thing.
I'm just not a sci-fi type person, you know.
There was a generation of people that just ate that up.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Because I'm not up on all the characters either, but the little green guy, Yoda, is that?
I've heard of.
Is that the Yoda character?
I think.
Okay. Well, I saw a Christmas tree on Facebook, or somebody had posted a thing, and it's nothing but Yodas in it. It had the lightsaber coming out of it and everything. So,
like I watch, there's people that play with those on Facebook and run around.
They sell them in the stores and stuff. And I think Alden, he got one out one day in one of the stores and was playing with it, but.
So, well, there you go.
It's neat, but.
Let's take a minute and talk about Joe and the good folks out at Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville. If you hadn't gotten your groceries yet for this December, go ahead and stock up because they got some great specials. Now, this is good through tomorrow afternoon, and then Wednesday will be a new sale. The celery stalks still at $1.29. The fresh green onion, 69 cents a bunch. Those Mississippi sweet potatoes, still 49 cents a pound. Now, you can also get your onions. You can get the yellow squash for $1.29 a pound, and the K-Rose syrup if you're going to be doing something with the cooking in the kitchen, which Candace has not done anything yet, we'd like to point out.
I have made fudge, and my my family has eaten every bit of it, so there's none
We
left.
wanted to point out, has anybody here seen it? Nope, I don't think so.
I'm gonna bring y'all some. I promise. I am.
$2.49 is what you can get.
I might
that
even
for.
make some cornflake candy.
Really?
Yeah, I might.
We'll see. Also, that Cooking Wesson oil, $1.89. You can get the beef broth, 69 cents a can for the 14-ounce box. Those Ritz crackers, 2 for $5. You can also still, you brought this up, and go ahead and get your turkeys for Christmas and having that out of the way.
Right. Anything that you can freeze, I would go ahead and get it.
Yeah.
And because you can always thaw it out right before Christmas. And this store too, y'all, if you have not been to the Piggly Wiggly in Collinsville, it's the cleanest store.
It is.
Every time I go in there, they're cleaning something, the floors or something. So
One of the best meat markets anywhere.
Yes, I mean they're fully stocked just about all the time. I mean, anytime I've been in there, they're fully stocked. So
And
go
of
see
course,
'em.
Boston Butts, you can get that for $1.19 a pound for the twin pack. And those ice cream, who doesn't love ice cream in Bluebell?
I know, and like I said the other day, anytime you don't want to cook, run up there and get a Boston butt that they've smoked, and or ribs. They have those. A lot of times they'll have smoked chicken. All that's available already cooked. You just pick it up and go. And I think they even have like potato salad and baked beans and stuff
That's true.
packaged up for you. So that's always good, especially when you've worked all day and you don't feel like coming home and cooking. Just stop by the pig.
That's right. And of course, they always have a daily lunch you can go by there and get also.
Right.
All of that's there at the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
So, as I mentioned that about Chuck, now if you're needing gas, get in touch with him early today because it's going to get some kind of busy at Sanders Gas delivering gas to everybody.
I know. I think people that's one of the things people will put off, until it starts getting really cold. But, as we know here, overnight it just turns cold.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they are really busy today, but y'all give them a call.
Yeah,
Get your
absolutely. And again, we want to say thank you for you watching this morning. We'll be back again tomorrow morning, bright and early, around 8:15 to 8:30 there to go live to tell you about what's going on locally. I'll have some weather for you around 6 o'clock each and every day. And tonight, don't forget the Scott McQuaig special coming up at 7 p.m. this evening there for your little bit of entertainment.
Right. And if you have not left the house yet, y'all bundle up because the wind is so cold. I mean, it is like whipping out there. And I guess it's just bringing in that colder air. I don't
It
know.
is.
But y'all bundle up. Get ready
I'm
for the day.
A firm believer in warming the car up before you leave the house.
Right.
Just say that's just me. Not everybody does that. Again, thanks for dropping by and spending a few moments with Scotty Ray and Candace.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by